young Bill. What?
Are you okay? Okay.
This is Bill Harris.
Yeah, that's right.
Mr. Harris, the
Yes.
high school principal here at Kempsville High. All right, man, I gotta ask it. Are you married?
I am.
For how long?
I have been married for it'll be 23 years on February 23rd.
That's good.
How cool is that?
You guys had a nice family today. Did your wife go to college?
My wife did go to college.
And does this have an effect on your life at home? Like, is it good that you guys both would, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't mind at all. You can ask whatever you want. It is good. I mean, we're both college-educated professionals. I'm obviously a principal, and she is a second grade teacher at Creed Elementary School. And so, it gives us a lot in common and a lot to talk about.
Did you have different goals in terms of going to college in high school? Like, were you always set on going to college, or where did you always want to become a teacher?
I did have a goal of going to college. My family, same as we raised our own kids, the expectation was that we go to college. What I wanted to do when I grow up, when I started college, I honestly had no idea. And I was in a work-study position at a preschool that provided early childhood experiences for the children of the professors. And I wasn't working as a teacher, I was just working as an office assistant to the director. And the director pulled me aside one day and just said, have you ever thought about going into this field? You're pretty good at it. And I had enjoyed that environment, and so I just started taking education classes at that point. It was about a year and a half into my school experience.
All right. What college did you attend?
I was at Keene State College in Keene, New Hampshire. It's a small school, probably about 5,000 students now, give or take, in southwestern New Hampshire.
All right. And was this your first choice, like the original college you wanted to go to, or did you get a scholarship for this college?
Well, I did not get any scholarships at all, it was my first choice in my heart, but chronologically it was not. I thought that I wanted to be in forestry, because in high school I was very active in scouts and in the outdoors, and so I thought, well, forestry might be a great profession for me. So I actually started in the summer after my high school graduation at Paul Smith's College, which is in upstate New York. I learned really quickly that you've got to really like being alone in the woods for long periods of time to be in forestry. And it just didn't grab me. It did not grab me at all. So I had a good friend at Keene State College, and I went to visit him one weekend, and I absolutely loved the weekend I had there, and I applied, and I got in.
Nice. Did you enjoy your college life?
I did, very much. So many good friends, so many incredible positive influences on my life from my professors, from the people around me, from the entire community of Keene, New Hampshire. It's a phenomenal little town. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself, I learned a lot about life, I learned a lot about education. I just learned a lot. And that's why I chose to spend the next 35 years there.
If you could recommend to a student who was going to college, would you recommend them to stay at home, rent a house, or stay on campus?
I would always say stay on campus first, because you are more isolated when you move off campus. And so if you're on campus first, then you get to meet more people right out of the chute, and you're also able to involve yourself in the various campus activities because they're all close enough to walk to. When you move off campus, you still might be close enough to walk to, but it becomes a little bit more like living in your own house, and you tend to do the stuff with your own friends, and you're not really quite as involved in the college life as you might have been if you're on campus. Go figure.
Would you say it's a necessity to have a job during college?
I think pretty much it's a necessity. It's one more thing to do, and so there's extra work that goes along with that. There's a place that now depends on you showing up and doing the work you need to do. College is expensive. So I think just to help out to pay the bills, the extra money made a big difference. But I think it also helped for my growth as a person, because when you're in a work environment interacting with people, in a local community drugstore, that's just a whole nother part of life that you get to experience and learn from and contribute to. So necessity is probably a little bit strong of a word. But I think it's helpful if you can manage both. If it's too much, then you got to be focused on the things that you're paying for, which are your classes.
We'll do like
Put it on a small
a
screen.
star transition really fast.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't-
Are we
There
good?
we go. Yeah, I guess
Okay.
you can start
So
on the next question.
Yeah,
or-
we were talking. What we were talking about was is the amount of debt that a student incurs in college worth it in the long run? And it is a lot of debt, as I said. I think the average is $37,000, which means half the kids come out with more than that, and half the kids come out with less than that. But when you compare what a person can earn over a working lifetime, you know, another 30, 35, 40, 45 years, 50, 55 if you're Mr. McGrath, your total lifetime earnings will be significantly higher with a college degree. So the debt, as difficult as it can be to manage early on, in the long run is in almost all cases worth it.
Would you say college is for everyone?
Absolutely not. No, I think it's really as important as college can be. It's but one path that a person can travel. And one of the things I love to say is quote Thomas Jefferson and the words that he wrote into the Declaration of Independence, which is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So whatever path a person chooses that provides them a good life, their own personal liberties, and a pursuit of happiness is a worthwhile path. And so whether it's college, whether it's straight to work, whether it's military service, whether it's a gap year, whether it's, as one of my nephews did, worked on an organic farm in northern Scotland, all of those paths have value. I think as long as you're living, you're learning, you're growing, and you're moving forward and you're contributing, then all paths are good paths.
Would you say that professors have a very large impact on their students?
Absolutely. In so many ways that you'll find out. I think when I think back on the most influential mentors that I have, I would say that the top two were two of my college professors. And many, many others had a very, very positive effect on me at certain points in my life that really helped me grow and succeed as a college student and as an adult. So yeah, there's amazing people on college campuses. Dr. David White was a professor of education at Keene State College. Crazy hard. You would have to study and study and study and study and study, and you'd be lucky if you'd get a C on anything. But he was one of the most, if not the most, engaging person I've ever met in my life. And so you would never miss a class, one, because you couldn't, because if you really wanted to get that C, you couldn't afford to even fall behind like an hour. But two, because his classes were just so good that they were fun. It's like, you know, that you didn't want to miss them because you enjoyed them. And he's still teaching at Keene State College to this day. I think he's a lot older, and he's probably, you know, staring down retirement. But he also, when he saw how hard I was working, how much I was struggling, he also took me aside and walked me through a studying process, kind of like Cornell Notes, which of course there was no such thing as Cornell Notes back in the late 70s, at least I don't think there were. And he said, you know, show me how you study. So I kind of explained it to him, and he looked at my notebook, and he said, why don't you try this? And we took apart my notebook, we reorganized it, we sort of focused it into main ideas. We set up a column to ask questions, clarifying questions, that sort of thing. And it's a system I, to this day, still use.
All right. Would you say you're happy with all the decisions you made from high school up?
Happy with all the decisions I've made?
Not in terms of you know, going to college or graduating college or career now.
Yes. Yeah, I have absolutely no regrets. I mean, there's certainly many things if I had a chance to do them all over again, I would do them differently. But you know, it's a mistake-making world. You know, and I think you learn more from the things you mess up and how you apply that knowledge next time. But I've been very, very, very fortunate. I think that, you know, the choices that I've made or people have helped me to make have been good, and I still get up each day and I can't wait to come into this place. I love the work that I do, and I would do it all over again if I had a chance to do it.
If you could restart in terms of college, what would you change in order to get a better college experience?
I would have been a better student in high school. I really thought for a long time I wanted to be an architect. I still like, drawing mechanically, just, sketching things out, whether it's a, plan for a garden in the backyard or, redesigning a kitchen or something like that. But my grades weren't very good, and I had a really rotten school counselor in high school who said, forget about architecture, there's no way your grades are good enough to even get into any architectural school, which was very discouraging, even if it was probably true. If you just sort of rephrase those questions and said, Bill, you got a real talent for that, and you probably really like it. But if you really do want to pursue that, then here's what you have to do, and here are the courses you have to take. And instead of just sort of, chucking my dream out the window, an impressionable young kid, I might be having an interview with a young intern in an architectural firm today. But it didn't work out that way, and that's fine. It worked out great anyway. But I would definitely I would have put my nose to the grindstone a little more in high school than perhaps I did.
And for a student like young Bill, what advice would you give to said young Bill that you think would really be beneficial for him going into college, finding college, and excelling in college?
Don't go to bed each night until you have everything ready that you need for the next day. And I think if you orient yourself that way, then you're always prepared for what comes at you when you find yourself in that new day. And I think if you sort of apply that, whether it's in classes or whether it's professionally in work settings or wherever it happens to be, even in relationships, always be thinking about where you need to be and are you ready to get there. I think that's the type of proactive thinking. And then of course you got to back it up with the action. You could think about all those things and make a nice list, and then you can go out and hang with your friends and go to bed and wake up the next day with none of them done. And the thinking really doesn't get you anything. It's the action that counts.